This photo was taken in 1956 on the set of The Conqueror. Utah desert, endless sun, dust and heat. Look at her smile, bright, unguarded. She has no idea. Now this one, 1975, 19 years later. Her hair gone, eyes hollow, brain tumor. Radiation burns, dying. What connects these two images? A movie that silently poisoned everyone who worked on it. Susan Hayward. Born in Brooklyn, 1917, a fighter from the start. She clawed her way to the top of Hollywood. By the 1950s, she was a household name, 5 Oscar nominations, known for fierce, uncompromising roles. Always that Brooklyn edge in her voice. Then came 1955, a call from Howard Hughes. He's producing The Conqueror. He wants her to play the love interest of Genghis Khan, filming in Utah, Snow Canyon, remote, rugged. She says yes. She shouldn't have. It would be the worst decision of her life. Here's what no one told them. That Utah location, Snow Canyon, wasn't just another pretty desert. It sat 137 miles downwind from the Nevada test site, where the U.S. government had detonated atomic bombs throughout the early 1950s, 11 nuclear tests between 1951 and 1953. Radioactive fallout blanketed the land. The sand itself glowed with contamination, but the military said it was safe. They lied. Howard Hughes didn't ask questions. He wanted that dramatic scenery. So he brought his cast and crew, 220 people in total, straight into the fallout zone. They shot for 13 weeks. Susan, dressed in costume, rolling in radioactive sand. Scene after scene. The crew breathing in toxic dust. Eating, laughing, living in it. Not one of them warned. Not one of them tested. And when production wrapped, Hughes made it worse. He hauled 60 tons of that same irradiated sand back to Hollywood for reshoots. Spread it across the studio lot. For months, the actors worked in a cloud of invisible poison. Fast forward to 1960. Susan Hayward walks across the stage at the Academy Awards, accepting the Oscar for I Want to Live, Best Actress. The peak of her career. She's radiant, beaming, strong, unstoppable. But the truth is already inside her. Microscopic, growing, the radiation coursing through her body. None of them realize yet what's coming. Then the deaths begin. 1963, Dick Powell, the film's director. Lymphatic cancer. Dead at 58. 64, Pedro Armendariz, one of the lead actors. Cancer. He takes his own life rather than face the agony. 1972, Agnes Moorehead. Cancer. Gone. 1973, John Wayne. Lung cancer. He fights it, briefly wins, then loses for good in 1979. By 1980, 91 of the 220 cast and crew have cancer. 46 are dead. Susan's diagnosis comes in 1972, brain tumor. The seizures start. The surgery, the radiation treatments, it's cruelly ironic. Fighting radiation damage with more radiation, but she doesn't quit. That Brooklyn toughness never leaves her. She keeps working, keeps smiling. In 1974, she appears at the Oscars, frail, trembling, hiding her baldness under a wig. Presenting an award while standing on pure willpower. The audience has no idea they're watching her final public appearance. March 14, 1975, Susan Hayward dies. 57 years old. 19 years after The Conqueror. The tumor eats through her brain, slowly, painfully. Her final words reportedly touch on that cursed film, on the desert that killed her. By then, everyone connected to the movie knows the truth. The government keeps denying it for decades. The Conqueror became the deadliest production in Hollywood history. Not metaphorically, literally. The film was a failure in every way, except in how effectively it destroyed lives. Howard Hughes knew the risks, but he wanted spectacle. The military knew the danger, but they let it happen. And Susan Hayward, brilliant, defiant, unforgettable, won her Oscar, only to pay for it with her life. Look again at those two photos. The smiling actress in the desert, blissfully unaware she's standing in radioactive dust. And then, the dying woman, her body ravaged by something she could never see. She went to Utah to make a movie. She came back with a death sentence that took 19 years to finish. That's the real story of Susan Hayward.